Hi, I'm Alexa, and today we are going to avoid the news, ignore all the crap that's going on, and we're going to talk about gardening because I'm excited. And I might be a little bit too excited because I keep buying new packets of seeds. So I bought some chives and I bought some ornamental pumpkins. But I'd made myself a nice little chart, and I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to actually put them. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I did go and sign up for a plot. They don't know when it'll get plowed for us, but it will be after April 15th. That's the only thing we know is after April 15th. I was going to start seeds. I've been thinking about starting them last weekend and the weekend before, and I didn't. I don't know how long, like, ahead of time I need to start them. I only need 7 to 10 days to germinate most of them. I do have a handy little chart I made myself too. And then some of them, I think it was about 2 weeks last year that I had the sweet peas inside. Snap peas. And they grew perfectly. They were about maybe 8 to 10 inches tall when I planted them outside. They were the perfect height and they did really well. But the broccoli and the cauliflower, I think, needs longer than 2 weeks. So I did buy, it's actually from the Dollar General, but it's a 6x6 seed tray that's pre-filled this time. Obviously, if I reuse it, I'll have to fill it myself. And it comes in a sealed tray, so when you water it, the water will be underneath, but it won't run everywhere. Obviously, you don't need to find a tray to put it in. And then I have other things to put the so that's going to be the onions and the sweet peas I'll do in there. So I was going to do 20 peas, but I'll do 24 because that way I just have 4 rows in this little square 6x6 thing. The chives, I was actually thinking what I could do is we technically get a 10 foot by 10 foot plot and we can sign up for 2, so it's going to be 10 foot by 20. But the plow actually does only about a 6 foot wide path. So I was thinking what I could do to avoid having to deal with the grass and weeds overgrowing my actual garden plants. What I could do is I can either turn it over myself, which I don't know that I could. I mean, I could, but I don't know that I need to. But I could buy some of that fabric. I could use very heavy-duty plastic contractor bags or cardboard. Anyway, I can get something and I can put it down the sides, 2 foot on each side. And then on that, it's going to need something to hold it down. So I was thinking I could do just plant pots, a couple of them, and then the chives could grow in there, because then also it's easy to remove them and it's not potentially going to overrun the garden. So I was thinking about that. If I do that, I could also probably start some other herbs, though I don't really know that I need to. I do like chives. I'll put them in mashed potatoes sometimes with some butter. Highly recommend if you ever make your own mashed potatoes. But I don't know. I have on here a little section for kohlrabi because last year it really didn't grow. The rabbits ate most of it. So I think I'd like to try that. It's meant to be a very mild broccoli flavor. What I did get was these 1 foot by 1 foot square panels, and there's 40 of them. So it makes technically 10 square cages, so to speak. And it's almost like, it's not chicken wire, but it's small holes, so like rabbits can't get through. And so I have bird netting as well that I bought last year, and then one thing or another I never actually got it up. So what I was thinking is I can either do individual 1 foot by 1 foot around each broccoli and pepper plant, because I'm gonna try and germinate the peppers, and if that doesn't work, I'll figure out something else to put in there. I could do 1 foot by 1 foot around each plant, or I was thinking instead of doing that, I could do basically 6 by 6 to make a 6 foot square. Put that in. It comes with little sort of like, I liken them to like when you have a tent and you have the spikes driving the ground. It's like that, but it's sort of a horseshoe shape. It comes with those, so you drive those in, and then I could put the netting over it and just have one thing. I think that might be the better way to go, because that way the plants, if one grows a little bigger than the other, it's not confined to the cage. But I'll see. I have to think about it. I do have some travel coming up, which always throws a little bit of a wrench in the works when it comes to plants. The first trip I have is in a couple weeks. That one's only a couple days, so that I don't think I'll have anything out in the plot by that point. I think that I'll have the stuff here, but for 3, maybe 4 days, the person feeding my cat can either probably water them, or they might not even need watering in that time. So in several weeks, when stuff will be in the garden, in the plot, I'm going away for a longer amount of time to visit family. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that. It's possible it could be sort of rainy at that time, which is fine. Or maybe if someone I met last year is there, I might be able to, if I meet them again, I might be able to ask them to just water it every other day or whatever when they're there. Or there's actually a family that has used the garden plot and they live nearby. And I've never spoken to them before, but I was thinking maybe I could go over and say, I don't know if your kids would like to make, I don't know, $20, $30 or something if they could water it every other day, 5 days. I don't know. What do you pay, 10 minutes a day? I mean, it wouldn't take long. So I'll have to figure that out. But one of the things my dad does is he will plant his garden, and then he spends time away here, time away there, this, that, and the other. He's retired. He's loving life. It's great for him, obviously, but not so great for the garden when he's away, and doesn't get the care and attention it needs. The weeds definitely grow very quickly. I'm a little worried about weeds this year. I think weeds killed my pumpkin plants and some of the other stuff last year. There was this, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 week stretch where it just rained. It was not good, and I didn't want to go out in the rain, and I had other things going on, and this, that, and the other, and by the time I got out there, it was insane. So I've definitely been thinking a lot about my plan of attack, how to do it, if it's gonna work. I kind of want to get stuff out of the garden this year, and I feel like I'm setting myself up to be a little upset if it goes wrong. Last year, I genuinely was like, if I get a few peas and maybe 1 or 2 corn on the cob, I'll be happy. Everything else, it really was just, it got me out of the house. It got me something to do, got me out of the house. I work from home. I don't need to go out places. Like, this got me out of the house, got me in the fresh air. Gardening is good a workout if you're actually doing stuff in the garden, you know. So I need to really approach this a little bit more like that again this year. That at the end of the day, if I've gone out and I've done it, I've enjoyed the actual process, that is a good enough thing where if the worst happens and I don't actually get anything from my plants, well, at least I had other benefits of doing this. I just keep thinking about it. I was trying to think of another topic tonight. I know this isn't the most interesting or insightful video, but I am definitely excited to get out there and see. I was even thinking about getting, I've seen people use all sorts of stuff, but like one of those $5 or $10 laundry baskets you can get. They grow potatoes in them. I don't even need to take that up to the plot. I could do it here. I was looking at that. I was thinking about that because I do love a potato. But then I was like, well, if you get a lot, you're not going to eat that many. I really don't eat a huge amount of potatoes. So storing them over the winter, I have to be conscious of that. I could probably give some away. Depending on what I actually get out of the garden, I probably will. I gave some of the stuff away last year. But as of now, my plan has corn carrots, turnips, radishes, peas, onions. Now the onions they're like a spring onion, but they have a little bit of a more defined white bulb at the bottom, so they're not really like an onion. They're like more like a spring onion or green onion, but again with a little bit more of a bulb. The kohlrabi, I'm like going back and forth on that one. We'll see. I'll probably start it and see how it does. Then I have the peppers, I have broccolini, and I have broccoli. I have acorn squash. The acorn squash, I didn't buy it yet, but I did find them at the Home Depot. I think I might have mentioned this in another video. I'm going to buy essentially a larger square cage that I can kind of make. And I think it's about 3.5 or 4 foot high after you've pushed it into the ground. And I'm going to try and train them to grow up it and then down them. So I think I could probably do like 2 acorn squash on one side, and then, because I've made it, if it's a 6-foot plot, if I grow them from the side up and down in, they'll both get 3 foot plus 3 foot up and 3 foot down, which is 6 foot. It's making sense in my head. If it's not making sense how I'm explaining it, eventually I hope to have some videos of what it might look like. It's probably going to be a huge failure now that I've told everyone publicly what I'm going to try and do. It feels like a lot of pressure to actually now do it. At the end of the day, if I don't get stuff done, I don't get stuff done. I'm not going to worry about that. But I was thinking if I put 2 on one side, on one 3-foot plot, and then on the other, so 6 foot away from it, I can do 1 acorn squash or 1 pumpkin plant, or I could do the mini pumpkins and have 1 mini pumpkin and grow up and down. I think that might be, maybe I'll just do the acorn squash on one side and the pumpkins on the other. Last time I had a mini pumpkin plant, there was this, maybe 10 foot by 10 foot sort of fenced in little yard, and the pumpkin plant took over quite a lot of it, and it was doing fantastic. And then the dogs that I lived with at the time, the person who had the dogs, obviously, they realized that the mini pumpkins underneath the leaves, first they couldn't see them, they realized they were like little balls to play with, and they essentially tore through the plant looking for all of them. But we did get a good bowl full of them for decorative purposes, which was really nice. I liked this mix because it's got the white and the orange and then the mixed colors. I do hope that it does say harvest blend, so I do hope I get several of them. But I don't know if you need, I don't know if, I'm guessing 1 plant gives you orange, 1 plant gives you white, 1 plant gives you speckled. So I mean, I might need more than 1 plant if I want more than 1 color. But then how do you know which seed is going to give you which colored plant? Let's open them and take a look at the seeds. Let's take a look at them, shall we? I decided to try this on my computer today. I know it's probably going to take a lot longer to upload, but it seemed to work last time I did it this way, and then I don't have to worry about StreamYard. And if I'm not streaming and I'm not sharing my screen or anything, I thought it would be okay. Yeah, all of these seeds look exactly the same, so there's nothing that, I don't know if you can see them, but there's nothing that makes them look like this, they'd be different types, right? So maybe I'll plant 2 and see what happens. I think I can plant these straight outside. So a few seeds around a 12-inch hill. After germination, thin to 3 to 4 seedlings per hill. If planted in rows, thin to 2 foot apart. Huh. This semi-bush plant produces great yields. Plants grow from 4 to 6 ounce in size and are shades of orange and white. So maybe I'll plant a couple, because if it's around a 12-inch hill, how far apart does it need? 2 foot to 3 foot. So yeah, I think that we're gonna find out how this does. We're gonna find it out when we try it. That's all I got for you tonight, folks. It is been a week, and it's only Wednesday. Monday was like the Mondayest Monday. And then Tuesday felt like another Monday, which is always the worst. Nobody needs 2 Mondays in a week. Today started off a little weird, but it got better, so not really a Monday, Wednesday, which would have been horrible to have 3 Mondays in a week. But yeah, lots going on. Lots going on. If you made it this far, thank you. If you're starting a garden, let me know. And as always, if you made it this far, thank you. I think I just said if you made it this far twice. That's how this week has gone. Thanks all. Be kind to yourself.